I can see you just fine. We can hear you. Okay with the T. Yes, boo.
You know what? I just moved.
Yes.
So I really just found this at the bottom of my closet. So I think this look was inspired by being on time.
First of all, we appreciate you for being on time. And yes, for the bottom of the closet, okay? I wish the bottom of my closet had finds like that. Like, you're shining.
Thank you.
Yeah, so you are the hottest thing in hip hop right now. You put out all the bops. You and Quavo are hashtag couple goals. And you always seem to link up with other industry boss babes. Tell me about your current single, Back to the Streets, and why it was so important for you to link up with Janae Aiko.
With Janae, I just thought that it was cool that she's not only from the West Coast, but you know, we have just so many common denominators. And for me, I've been struggling to find like that West Coast record. So I was like, I gotta do this justice by putting another West Coast girl on it. And I'm like, who should I put on it? Janae. So she did justice to it. So shout out to her.
For sure. No, the first time I heard it, I think it's called The Jerk. Like, it felt so West Coast. I'm from DC, so that's not even like my neck of the woods, but it felt very authentic to the West Coast. So I'm sure you're doing the whole area proud.
Definitely, definitely. But yeah, it's so, and it was such a different approach from what I normally do, because I'm normally rapping aggressive, and this time it's just more melodic, a little bit of singing, but you know, just something different.
I love it. I mean, I love the subject matter because I feel like a lot of times, especially in hip hop, we hear how men kind of like dog us out. But in this song, it's you guys taking your power back. So talk to me about that and why that's so important to put. That's a theme through all of your music. So why is that so important?
Well, I'm all for, you know, flipping the conversation.
Yes.
And when I mean back to the streets, it's actually a double entendre because it means two things. Obviously, it means sending whoever is toxic, whoever is wasting your time back to the streets, because you know, as women, we deserve better. But then also, like, back to the streets, getting back to your roots. Like, I'm Black and Asian, and in the video, it's just the symbolism of celebrating my Black side and my Asian side is so relevant. So it definitely means two things.
I love that. I love that. Speaking of being a woman, a Black and Asian woman, we have our first female vice president, and she checks off several boxes as well. So tell me, how do you feel in the aftermath of this election year? Millennial and Gen Zers, we showed up. So how does that feel?
Well, I'm all for voter advocacy because I felt like even someone who used to be in the incoming younger generation that was able to vote, you know, the 18 and ups, I never thought that my voice counted. I'm like, what is one vote gonna do? My peers, my home, like, we wasn't talking about that. So that's why I advocate so much for it on social media, because these young people need to know how important their voice is. And as you can see, it did make that big difference. The millennials, Generation Z came out, and I feel like because me and my peers, shout out to everybody who held it down, because we were so vocal on, you know, voting this year, we popped out, okay?
Yes, we did it, guys. I was so happy Saturday when I saw that. So shout out to you, and like you said, everyone else who used their voice this election to get us to move and mobilize. It was so key, so important, and another boss babe move from you. So talk to me about education and entertainment. Again, that's another theme that you always find a way to infuse in your music, as being an educated addict.
Because I wanted to drop out of college so bad. Like, every time it was a midterm, every time it was a final, every time it was a 20-page paper, I'm like, what am I doing here? Like, I do not want to be here. I want to be in the studio. I want to be pursuing music. I'm in LA. But after I graduated, in hindsight, I'm like, wow, I learned a lot of valuable skills that made me into the boss babe who I am today, because this is all growth. This is all learned through experience. So it's just like, I'm still growing, but I am who I am today because I got an education. And while I might not remember everything that I studied, you know, up until 4 a.m. trying to crab all them things in, I still like remember, you know, organization skills, working with different types of groups, being responsible when it comes to scheduling, when it comes to different things that make you a successful business person. So that's why I advocate for education.
Yes, I love that. And not only do you advocate for education, honey, but you're sharing the wealth with Icy University. So talk to me about that venture. I've been watching some of your YouTube videos, girl. You teaching us all the game.
Well, instead of going on a rant on Twitter or Instagram, or even like, just giving it out here and there, I wanted to give something timeless, something that the girls can always go back to. And that's why, excuse me, that's the coffee, my bad. That's why I decided to make, these 2 to 4 minute clips, something quick, precise, and something that they can always tune back into.
Yes. So talk to me about some of the subject matters. Not only do you teach us how to start a business, but you also teaching us how to pull an 8-figure nigga. So talk to me about how you chose your course outline.
Well, I asked them, what do you want me to teach? And those were like the 4. I mean, there was a lot of popular subjects. So we have first semester, and then next semester will be coming during the spring semester. So we have 4 classes that I'm teaching this semester, and then another 4 next semester. But the first one was how to start your own business. The second one is how to bag an 8-figure man. And while that topic was so controversial, like if you really tuned in, you would see that I'm not telling you to go out there and be a gold digger, even though I have my own ideas on what a gold digger means. I'm meaning you are what you attract. Get your hustle on. If you get in your hustle on, if you get into your bag, you're going to attract a man who's getting into his bag. Because while it's okay for us to be spoiled, to be taken care of, it's important for us to be independent as well. So If they tuned in, they would know what I'm really talking about.
Exactly, guys. So make sure you tune in. Are you teaching this at an actual university as well?
So I'm teaching online courses, but I think in about 2 years, I'll probably be teaching at USC.
That's fire. I love it. You are breaking so many barriers, girl.
Thank you.
Speaking of breaking barriers, before we knew you as the Icy girl, you already had your own business. So talk to me about money making mommies.
Oh my gosh, girl. So there was a point in time in college where I was just like, I wasn't making enough money to get what I wanted. I wanted to get my hair, my nails done. I have just moved to LA, so I'm just peeping like, okay, like people really get dressed up out here, but I couldn't afford it. So it's like, it was definitely a materialistic incentive, but hey, I got to the bag and I was able to do that and then some. So I was like, how can I provide a product? And this goes back to how to start your own business, but I teach this. I was like, how can I provide something that people really need and that will create a demand? I did money making mommies because not only was it fly, it was also, empowering. And I always told girls, like, when you wear this shirt, or when you wear this crop top, or when you wear this hat, like, you about your business and you out there getting into the money because I wanted to get to the money. I was working like 3 or 4 jobs at one time. So I was like, that's a money right there. That's a hustler. And I feel like girls who are about that lifestyle need to be acknowledged. So I sent some out. The girls supported me, and I had me a good run. And I was actually able to pay off, because the tuition kept rising, girl. I was able to pay off, my university fees as well.
Wow. So you was really like making money.
I mean, money making mommies.
How do you feel like that experience in entrepreneurship prepared you for the business of music business? Because I feel like sometimes artists forget that it's a business.
I think it just made me more business savvy. I learned a lot through trial and error. There's this TikTok where it's like graphic designer, the shipper, the customer service. Oh, don't mind my nail. There's just things when you're everything for that company, and that's what I did. I used to write out all my letters. I was customer service. I was meeting with the vendors. I was creating my own logos. I was packing and shipping out. I was doing everything. So it's just like, in that moment of time, I knew that I can do whatever I put my mind to. Because in hindsight, I'm like, how the hell was you doing that?
Yes. And I know social media plays a big part in your early business as well as now. And you really know how to break the internet. You had the Red Cup Challenge, got all the girls bending over backwards, literally. You've got your Birkin Brads. The video you posted yesterday with the pop-up that was like your battery is about to die, that was hilarious, and I really was like checking my phone. So like, what do you think is the key to like social media?
You know what? I think the key to social media is you being yourself, and it's easier said than done. But I think quarantine just allowed me to get back to my creative roots because I was the only child for like 11 years.
Same.
So I have only child syndrome. So I have a lot of time when I'm by myself, which is why people have been able to see my personality come through. Because I'm at home, of course I'm working from home, but I'm also inspired because I'm in my natural habitat, which is by myself at home.
Yeah, same. And I've been loving you venturing out and showing us more of your personality, including your Friday remake skit. So we've
that's
got
one of my
Friday.
favorite movies.
Yeah, what's the connection? Before I ask the next question, why do you like Friday so much?
I'm sorry, someone called me and I ignored their call. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you. I was
Okay, can
asking
you
you
repeat that question one more time, please?
yeah, what's your connection to the Friday movie? I just want to know. I know why I like it.
So I love it because it was like my comfort movie. When I was in middle school, every time I come home, I would bake cookies and eat a bowl of cereal and put on Friday. That was like my after school ritual.
I love it. That sounds so cozy. Like I can tell you were only child. Like you found peace within yourself. I completely relate to that. Do you see any acting in your future?
Definitely, girl. I can see myself, getting my Tupac on, getting my Will Smith on, getting my Queen Latifah on. Like, I love to act. I actually, when I was at San Diego State before I went to USC, I took theater for a semester, but then I switched back to communication. So I've always had a love for just, studying the skills of acting.
I could totally see that for you, sis. We're saying it here first. Tyler Perry, Spike Lee, whoever,
Michael Bay, who
everybody.
else? I'm trying to hit the big screen, so you let me know. Send that
Call our
script
sis,
over.
okay? We ready to see it. We gonna buy out all the movie theaters. We right here rooting for you.
I know that's right.
So you come up from an entertainment-based family. Your mother was actually a star in her own right. What lessons have you learned from her?
Well, because it's funny because people assume that because she was who she was, which was, she was hustling and she was one of the most requested video vixens. And I just want to clear the air because in that era, she got mad at me too. A vixen had a positive connotation to it. So when I say it, I mean it in an empowering, description. But what's crazy is because she was a video vixen, people just assume that, I was able to see the entertainment industry through her eyes. But because she grew up how she grew up, which is another story, she was really strict. So she never really gave me insight. And she was like, she wouldn't even let me wear crop tops. Like, and I'm in middle school. Like, she wouldn't let me get my nails done. She wouldn't let me wear makeup. She wouldn't even let me shave.
That's good. She was trying to protect you from creeps.
No, she wouldn't let me do anything. So, like, yes, she was doing her thing, and yes, she was fly. My mother is gorgeous, but she was a tiger mom. It was come home, do your homework, and you cannot dress grown. So I wasn't able to get no stories from her.
She taught you what you needed to know, and that's self-respect. And now you're exemplifying that for the other young ladies who look up to you. So shout out to mom for doing her job and raising you right. We fell in love with you from just 2 EPs, but your album is coming up real soon. So what can we expect from Pretty Bitch Music?
Pretty Bitch Music, you know what? I've been asked this and I haven't been able to describe it, but when I'm listening to it, it's really just it's different. It's different, and I'm so curious to how the world is gonna perceive it, because I think Back to the Streets was an introduction to the fact that I'll be singing a lot more. So I feel like it's just I wanted to be a singer before I was a rapper. Like, I used to sing all the Disney princess songs. My mom used to sing her heart out to some Lauryn Hill. So it was like, but I didn't want to sing because I couldn't sing like a Mariah or a Whitney or even a Leah. So I was like, maybe singing ain't for me, but I can hold a note. But now that I'm able to explore my more artistic side, it's just going to be a lot more different vibes that I don't think people are going to expect from me.
Yeah, come through vocals. Okay, we are so ready. I love you got all these tricks up your sleeve, girl. Like,
I got tricks up. I'm a Cancer. We always got some tricks up our sleeve.
So talk to me about some of your professional collaborations. You've worked with Pretty Little Things. You have a Morphe makeup collection. what is beauty in the music industry? How does that work together for you?
I always felt like, so me, girl, I always just want to do too much. I wanted to be a designer. I wanted to be an actress. I wanted to be a model. I wanted to be a rapper. I wanted to do too many things, but I always felt like if I focused on one thing, what I'm super passionate about, which is music, it would open the doors up to other things. So it's like, I feel like music has given me an amazing platform to do what I want to do. And I feel like beauty goes hand in hand because, girl, I love beating my face. I love doing my
Yeah.
hair. I used to get my homegirls ready for their dates in college. So it's like, I always love making women look beautiful. And I love, making myself look good too.
Say
So
that.
I think it just goes so organically with my brand. And I love lip gloss. I love, my baby hairs, my edges. So whenever I collaborate with somebody, just know that I am doing it because we see the vision together. Like, I passed up on a lot of money because the vision wasn't, agreeing. So just know that when Saweetie puts her stamp on it, like, I believe they're good people and we gonna make some shit pop.
Yes. Yes. You're selective. I think that's really important
Very
as well.
selective,
You got to protect your brand.
You got to.
All right. One more question for me, and then we'll take questions from the floor, guys. So if you haven't already, click the question mark button and submit your questions. We're going to read them out loud. We first fell in love with you from your Icy Girl freestyle on the internet.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think of where you are now compared to where you were then?
Actually, what's crazy is I'm getting back to where I was then. And I only say that because when Icy Girl took off, my world just became a tornado. Like, oh my gosh, like being booked. Like, my first show was in Turkey. Like, Icy Girl, I think Icy Girl was probably one of the most hottest, unconventional type of songs, and it really helped me, travel across America and travel to, out of the country. But I felt like my creative spirit died because I was working so much. I wasn't sleeping. I wasn't eating good, which is why, I still eat, but I eat sometimes. That's a different conversation. But, there was a lot of things that were working against what was making me flourish when I had all this time to myself. So in quarantine and just with this transitional period of my life, I feel like I'm getting back to the Icy Girl era where I'm able to have a lot of creative input. I'm able to see things for what they are, like my vision. So I think, yes, I'm a more mature type of Icy Girl, but I'm getting back to the roots of what made my brand what it is today.
I was not expecting that answer. I love it, and I'm excited for you. I
Thank you.
think there's nothing worse than stifling an artist's creativity. Like, your whole existence is to be creative. So if you can tap back into the thing that made us fall in love with you, that's perfect. So I'm really happy for you. I'm grateful for this conversation. Let's see what the floor wants to know. Some fan questions. There's 100 questions here, by the way, Saweetie. Like, people really want to talk to you.
All right, what they want to know,
bro? What would you be doing if you weren't a rapper?
You know what's crazy? I love this question. So I would be a beautician. I'd either be doing makeup or I'd be doing lashes because I love making women look good. Or I'd be a politician or I'd be doing something with politics. I don't know if I'd be running, but I can picture myself being like an Olivia Pope because I love cleaning other people's shit up.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I love like seeing how I can help somebody out. So I'd be doing something with beauty or with politics.
That's a beautiful answer. Let's see. What do I want to ask you? Wow, this question is here several times, so I gotta ask. Do you foresee a collaboration with Megan or any other boss babes in the industry soon?
I could definitely see that. I love a girl who can just own her brand, own her presence. And I think the more dope girl collaborations we can have, and the more we can scoop, the male to the side. I would like to see that. There's no shade, but I think it's just a beautiful visual when you see two dope girls come together. I mean, we beat our faces, we can switch our wigs out, we can put on different outfits. So I would always prefer collaborating with a girl because we're able to, bring that zhuzh to the screen. You know what I mean?
Yes, Judge. I think I got a couple more minutes of your time. This person wants to know, what advice do you have for people going to college?
So you know what? I would like to answer this in a different way. I think my advice for anybody who is graduating high school, everybody should go to college, even if it's just for a semester. Because let's say you go back to college, you know, when you're older, which there's no problem in that, you don't get that incoming freshman experience. And I feel like that's such a moment you can't, it's a priceless experience. Like, unless you're about to come back and fake like you're younger, then no. But you should always go to see what's there. You can always research the majors before you go into it, because girl, my major was psychology at first. And
Wow.
I remember going to the first class and seeing the syllabus and seeing how much people was gonna be reading, and I was like, oh no, this ain't for me. So, I would always say, you know, research, and if you don't want to go to college, please just go for a semester to see if you even like it.
Yeah, I think that's solid advice. I feel like I grew up so much being away from home, having to make decisions on my own. So I fully agree with that. And then just kind of being a little reckless. I ain't gonna hold you.
Mm-hmm. I got 6 more minutes with you, girl, so fire away.
I know. Okay, somebody. I don't know if you can answer this how quickly, but someone wants to know what's it like being famous. You seem really humble and grounded. So.
You know what? I'm weird. I liked going to dinner by myself. I liked going to the movies by myself. I like going shopping by myself. So there was a point in time when I realized that I couldn't do that because people would like follow me around like the mall or the restaurant, or they'd come up to me while I was eating and they'd be like, "Are you Saweetie?" And I'm like, "Okay, girl, you can't do this no more." So I think the resources and the access that I didn't have before, I feel like that's the benefit of being quote unquote famous. I still don't feel like I'm famous though. I still feel like regular Sweetie until I step out of my house. But yeah, sometimes I'm just like, can y'all just let me enjoy my food? Or can I just walk around the store without y'all having cameras on me?
I love it. Someone was like, "You are so unproblematic." I fully agree with that. Let's see. This might be a little personal, but the fans want to know, what were your first thoughts on Quavo?
Well, everybody knew he was my celebrity crush. So I already liked him before he slid into my DMs. That's why that snowflake worked. So if she don't like you, I don't know if that snowflake gonna work, boy.
Let's see. We still got 5 more minutes. It's a lot of questions here, but they're not necessarily good questions, sweetie.
Oh, they trying to
Um,
see.
yeah, they want you to follow them and stuff.
All right,
Okay,
give
this is
me
a
give
good
me give me
one.
one more good one.
How do you stay healthy and fit with such a busy schedule? And don't be stirring that up trying to send us to the sunken place.
You know what? How do I stay healthy and fit? You know what? I get my meal preps, but because I've been so busy, like I've been postmating a lot, so I normally get a salad with my meal. I do have to get better at that. You know, a lot of people be coming for me because I love, I just love noodles. I love
I was gonna
noodles.
say that video. I've never seen anybody make noodles like that.
Girl, so we grew up on that. So you have to get creative with how you make it. And because sometimes I don't always have time to wait for a meal to be prepped, that's my go-to meal. You know,
Yeah.
sometimes you get the munchies in the middle. Girl, don't worry about me, worry about y'all. So, but I
Okay, where
do
did
feel
you get
like,
that recipe from? Let's talk about that before you get out of here.
you said what?
Where'd you get that exact recipe from? You had flaming hot Cheetos, all types of stuff I ain't never seen in noodles before.
So in the Bay Area, like it's a melting pot, and I feel like my Mexican partners like would make they noodles different, and I would see that they would put hot Cheetos in their stuff, and I'm like, I'm gonna try. Like there's seriously some vendors on the street in the Bay Area that sell like that with the hot Cheetos on the side. Like that's an actual meal. So it's like the
Wow.
world was surprised, but if you from the Bay, that's a normal meal. I mean, either you're gonna eat it with it or you're not gonna eat it with it. But I grew up on that, so I love it.
We gonna have to put you in touch with Master P, and you can have your own like noodles, the sweetie noodles, and it already comes with the cheap. Listen, we gonna talk.
Girl, we gonna talk about it. And thank you for taking time to sit here with me. I see you a boss babe yourself.
Trying to be like you,
Girl.
boo.
No, I see you with your books in the back. What college you go to?
I attended Temple University for undergrad, and I actually got my master's from American University. So I'm all
What
for education.
What'd you major in?
Communications, journalism as well.
That's so bomb, and I'm so happy that someone who is, we don't look alike, but we are alike. So I
Yeah.
think it's important for more girls to just see us, having these type of conversations. So thank you for using your platform to bring me on here because I can see what you're doing. And whatever you need from me, I'm there for you because I'm all for, this boss babe empowerment type of stuff.
That's love, Queen. This was better than I could have imagined. Thank you so much for your time and sharing your wisdom with us. And we will continue to support you. I'm not going to hold you any longer. This was amazing. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in as well. Make sure you
Thank you.
follow Saweetie. She's got new music coming. She's got the fashion collabs, and she's keeping us entertained. And if you're not already, of course, follow at Forbes the Culture. I'm your host, Bobby Penn. That's my Instagram name, too, for somebody who asks. And yeah, I'll talk to you all soon. Thank you,
No,
sweetie.
no, of course, Bobby Penn, and I just had to highlight you real quick because you a boss babe yourself. So once again, thank you for using your platform to show girls that look like us that you can be educated, you can be fly, you can be popping, and you can still get to that bag while doing all that fabulous stuff. So thank you.
Yes, Icy gang. Bye,
Bye,
girl.
girl.